Good morning, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
We're fine, ma'am.
That is so good to hear. Before we begin our class today, let us have first a prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Allow us to formally introduce ourselves. I am Teacher Cheska.
I am Teacher Shandal.
I am Teacher Charlene. And I am Teacher Hannah. And we are your teachers for today. Is anyone absent, class? Class secretary?
None, ma'am.
Oh, very good. We have a perfect attendance for today. Before we proceed with our discussion, I have here the classroom rules for us to be guided with our discussion. Can we have Janessa to read our classroom rules?
Listen to your teacher, participate and cooperate during the activities. Talk only if you have something important to share or if you are asked to do so. Don't make any unnecessary noises. Respect your teacher and classmates and enjoy while learning.
Can we expect these things from all of you, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Now let's have Teacher Shandel for further instruction.
You are grouped into 3 based on the color of your name tag. We have here Group 1, which is Team Purposeful. Group 2, Team Goal Driven. And for the third group, we have Team Courageous. As you can observe, your group names are essential traits in making decisions in life. Please be reminded that each of you is expected to collaborate with your members for your performances, as the group will be monitored and tallied. We have 2 paper tarps here, one for the behavioral chart and one for the scoreboard. Those who showed excellency in the activity will receive this gem, and those who would not, you should do your best. I understood, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Since everything is clear, let's have Teacher Charlene.
Before we proceed to our new discussion, we will have first a quick review. Now, what have we discussed last meeting? Yes, Jennifer?
We discussed about adjectives, ma'am.
Okay, now what are adjectives then?
Claire, ma'am.
Yes, Claire?
An adjective is a part of speech that describes and modifies a noun or a pronoun, ma'am.
Yes, that's right. Now, are adjectives important? Yes?
Chef, ma'am.
Chef?
Yes, ma'am. Adjectives are important because it makes the sentence more meaningful. It adds color and accuracy in the whole sentence.
Yes, that's right. Now, what are the 2 kinds of adjectives?
Me, ma'am, Shipyon.
Yes, Chef again?
These are attributive and predicative adjectives, ma'am.
Yes, you are right. Now, how about an example of sentence with an attribute adjective?
Rina, ma'am.
Yes, Rina?
Real human respects not just white but also people of color.
Okay, thank you, Rina. What about predicative adjective?
Ma'am, Faye.
Yes, Faye.
Stay rational, judge. Sorry. Stay rational, judge not in the color of the skin, but in the content of one's character, ma'am.
Thank you, Faye. That's wonderful, and it seems that you have really understood our discussion last meeting. Now, class, for today's lesson, you are expected to kindly read, everyone.
Share insights about the importance of having sound decisions. Analyze the poem titled The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Learn and understand Modal and its appropriate use. And deliver a pass-the-paper challenge cinematic video presentation. Create a digitized e-storyboard and compose a song depicting the relevance of decision-making while incorporating appropriate models in each sentence.
Yes, thank you, class. Now, this time, let's have Teacher Cheska for our first activity. We will now have our first activity. We will watch a YouTube video, and I want you all to connect with the meaning of the video. So, here it is.
And that ends the video. So, what do you think the video is all about? Yes, Janessa.
The video shows how our life choices affect us in every way possible. We really have to weigh our choices, for this will determine the consequences we have to face, ma'am.
Yes, that is right. Do you make decisions, class? Yes, Jennifer.
Yes, we do, ma'am. Every single hour, we decide for ourselves. In the earliest of the morning, we decide what specific time we get up from bed. At the middle of the day, we decide what we want to do for the rest of the day. And at night, we decide what to do before sleeping. These small things are decision making itself, ma'am.
Yes, those little things that we usually do are decision making, as what Jennifer said, decision making itself. Great answer. As a student or as a person yourself, what was the biggest decision that you have done like recently? Yes, Lalaine?
The biggest decision I have done recently, ma'am, was to enroll in this new kind of learning, the online modular learning. I've got no enough uh, resources, yet I still pursued my education, for I know we can still find solutions in all the problems that we face.
Wow, I am extremely amazed with your decision. Let's endure this crisis together. And from your answers, I can really say that you have internalized the video. Now to have our discussion, let's have teacher Hannah.
This time, I have here a famous poem. This was published in the Atlantic Monthly in August 1915 and used as the opening poem of the author's collection Mountain Interval in 1916. Written in iambic tetrameter, it employs an ABAAB rhyme scheme in each stanza. Here is an animated video of the poem, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. I want you to widen your understanding about the poem, so please comprehend what you will be watching.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by. And that has made all the difference.
Well done for listening attentively to the poem. I believe I have already given you transcriptions for you to really comprehend the poem. So I've disseminated the information already. Now, to measure your comprehension, I want you to answer these questions. What is the poem all about?
Lalema.
Yes, Lalaine.
The poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost is about a speaker thrust at a point in their lives where they must choose the path that they should take. They lament at the fact that they have to choose, weighing both options out in both its goodness, but ultimately choosing one that they think was best for them. They imagine themselves in the future, looking back at their choice, choosing to interpret it in good light.
Excellent interpretation. Very optimistic, no? So, what does the poem imply?
Jennifer, ma'am.
Yes, Jennifer.
The poem implies that how you interpret your choices in life is the best way to live a life without regret. When faced with a choice between two roads, one should take the road that was less traveled, and the consequences of that decision would have made all the difference in their lives, ma'am.
Very succinctly well put. That it was an excellent understanding of the application of the poem. Now, what is your takeaway of the poem?
Fluvial, ma'am.
Yes, Fluvial.
In my opinion, the poem was a celebration of individualism. The action of choosing to become the person who you want to be and being proud of who you had been, that is perhaps the best way to live life now.
Amazing analysis of the poem. That was very commendable. Class, you really comprehended the poem. Now this time, I would like to direct you all to analyzing the first two lines. It says, two roads diverge in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. What does this line mean?
Yvonne, ma'am.
Yes, Yvonne.
For me, ma'am, the author tries to mean in here that as he journeyed, he saw a crossroad. And sure as he is, he wanted to travel both sides, but he just can't.
Yes, comprehensive analysis of the poem. That is very correct. Now, he wanted to travel both sides, but he can't. What word best supports this claim? Yes,
Faye, ma'am.
Faye.
I believe it is the word could, ma'am.
Very well spotted, Faye. That is correct. The word could here shows ability, which is binary rather than possibility, which falls on a spectrum. Now, the author wished to travel both roads, both sides, but could not. He wanted, but couldn't. The design was there, but he could not just achieve it. So the would could here implies an ability in the past. That, in simple terms, the author could have done it but failed to do so or didn't do it at all. Now, as you take a look on the first stanza, the word could was mentioned twice, right? In
Yes,
which
ma'am.
line can we see the other could?
Hazel, ma'am.
Yes, Hazel.
It is on the fourth line, ma'am. It says, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Yes, very well spotted again. Now, what does the would could here implies?
Kesha, ma'am.
Yes, Kesha.
The could in here, ma'am, signifies an ability in the past.
Very comprehensive understanding. So, it emphasizes an ability in the past quite the same with the first one we discussed. In here, we could understand that the word could expresses an ability. Like he looked down with all his might, or so to speak, he looked down with all that he could. Now, so much for that. Let us jump into lines 4 and 5 in the third stanza. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. What is your understanding of this? Yes,
Nicole, ma'am.
Nicole.
I believe that in these lines, the speaker has already made a decision and he still has that second thoughts whether he would come back. Some sort of an advice whether like he'll pursue what he is thinking, ma'am.
Great understanding. Now, truly the word should in this line implies a strong advice. Kindly remember its function because we will be discussing it later. Now, anyone who can give me what are the first two lines from the last stanza? Yes?
Elaine, ma'am.
Lelaine?
The first two lines on the last stanza says, I shall be telling this with a sigh, some more ages and ages hence.
What is your understanding of that line?
Faye, ma'am.
Yes, Faye.
I believe that the author tries to give us a future action, some sort of a promise that he will tell us something, ma'am.
Very well put together. Now, yes, and the word that best supports that claim is
Rhea, ma'am.
yes, Rhea.
It is the word shall, ma'am.
Very well spotted. Though as you can also notice, the word shall is not frequently used nowadays. This is just evident in some formal writings and in famous pieces, especially with the predecessors of Robert Frost. Now we can surmise from this Shakespeare and the likes. So it is used to imply suggestion, like telling someone about a thing. Now, in English grammar, words that express possibility, ability, permission, prohibition, like the words could, should, and shall, are called modals. Modals, also known as modal auxiliaries,
are difficult to learn because they seem to function like a verb but don't follow the same rules. For example, modals act more like the auxiliary verb do or does when do or does precedes a verb. However, modals are different from do or does in that they do not change for tense or the subject's number. Modal use often depends on context and the degree of formality and politeness that a social situation requires. Now, below, in this presentation, is the summarized table of the modals and its use. There are actually a lot of modals, but we will only tackle the modals evident on the poem. So, these modals are could, should, and shall. Now, anybody who can read for me the modals could and its example. Use an example.
Yani, ma'am.
Yes, Yani.
Could. Used to express possibility or past ability. Used to make suggestions and requests. Example, I could have passed the exam if I studied well.
Yes, now, very good. Now, for the modal should.
Nicole, ma'am.
Yes, Nicole.
Should. For advice, example, you should take that road. For obligation, example, you should start now your travel, ma'am.
Yes, if you have remembered, I said kindly remember. So, should is used for when you are giving advice to someone. Now, for the modal shall, may I have another student?
Claire, ma'am.
Yes, Claire.
Shall is usually used instead of will in the first person. It usually implies suggestion. Example, shall I carry your bag?
Yes, that was, you have really understood our discussion this morning about the uses of modals. Now, be always reminded that in English grammar, the modal verbs are used to express ability, possibility, permission, or obligation. Each one of the modal verbs can be used to express one or more of these modalities. They can also be used to form the future tense in English and to make conditional sentences. This time, class, for you to understand more about our discussion this morning, I will present another video, and all you have to do is give your takeaway about it while integrating the models we have discussed. You can raise your right hand to be recognized. Are my instructions clear, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so this will be discussed by teacher Shandel.
ago, what can you say about it? And as agreed, ensure that you are incorporating your answers with the modal words we have discussed earlier. Okay, shall we have Hazel?
The man could have been a heartless one all his life until an old woman came across him and touched his heart now.
Thank you, Hazel. Now, in what way was the modal could used in the sentence?
The modal could was used as a possibility, ma'am.
Very good, Hazel. Let's have another one.
Jennifer, ma'am,
Okay, Jennifer.
I shall commit myself to humane doings.
Good job, Jennifer. Now, in what way was the modal shall used in the sentence?
The modal shall is used as a suggestion of a future action, ma'am.
Yes, very good. The modal shall was used as a suggestion of the future action. Now, let's have another one. Yes, Janessa.
We can do heroic deeds and it should start now.
Very good. Now, in what way was the modal should used in the sentence?
It was used, ma'am, to express obligation.
You are right. Yes, it is used to express obligation. Job well done, class. I'm very happy because you really grasped the discussion we had earlier. For that, let us give ourselves a round of applause. This time, class, let's have Teacher Charlene.
This time, class, for you to understand more about decision making, here's a song titled Time Passing Through by Caden McKay. Kindly connect with the lyrics as you let yourself go along with the rhythm.
Can't the future just wait? Can't the deadlines come fashionably late? I could push every goal back, take control back if they'd roll back the rate at which time starts to fly. Never landing or standing by, never taking a break, ever making me retry. We nickel and dime every quarter to two. But maybe it's time to let time pass through. If the future is bright, it doesn't shine with that end of the tunnel light. More like a deer in the headlights, sudden red lights, or your dead lights as the anglerfish bite. It's not fair. The past is clear, but it's clear back there. What's ahead, no one knows, but it's closing in, we swear. Still not in my prime, I have so much to do. But maybe it's time to let time pass through. Can't the future just wait? Can't the deadlines come fashionably late? I could push every goal back, take control back if they'd roll back the rate at which time starts to fly. Never landing or standing by, never taking a break, ever making me retry. We nickel and dime every quarter to two. But maybe it's time to let time pass through.
Now, class, how did you find the song?
Kizaya, ma'am.
Yes, Kizaya.
I find the song relaxing. It gives us ideas concerning decision making and its consequences. I think this will be my music of the month.
Okay, yes, me too. I find this song so great. The lyrics and the rhythm perfectly got along with each other, similar with the message of the song. Now, similar with the message of this song, have you also been exhausted recently and a sudden decision making is really needed?
Rowena, ma'am.
Yes, Rowena.
Yes, ma'am. Every day is a constant battle and your decision is really needed. The reason why sometimes I take a pause in everything I do and just let time pass through for me to come up with sound decisions, ma'am.
That's right. When we are bombarded with overwhelming situations, let us make it a habit to pause for a while and contemplate for us to have a better and sound decisions. Now, did you get my point, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let us have teacher Cheska.
Now, class, we will have another activity. With your group, I will give you a task. You must show your understanding on the importance of sound decision making, and you must ensure to incorporate models in your presentation. So, for group 1, Team Purposeful representative, please read your task.
Your group is tasked to present Pass the Paper Challenge cinematic video presentation portraying the importance of decision making. Incorporate models in your lines, and you have 10 minutes to prepare and 3 to 5 minutes allotted time to present.
Thank you. For Team Goal Driven, kindly read your task.
Your group is tasked to create a digitized storyboard portraying the importance of decision making. Incorporate models in your lines. You have 10 minutes to prepare and 3 to 5 minutes allotted time to present.
Okay, thank you. And last, for Team Courageous, kindly read your task.
Your group is tasked to compose and render a song portraying the importance of decision making. Incorporate models in your lines, and you only have 10 minutes to prepare and 3 to 5 minutes allotted time to present.
For you to be guided with the grading of your presentation, everyone, please read the criteria.
Creativity or originality, 35%. Use of models, 35%. Stage presentation, 15%. Teamwork, 15%. And a total of 100%.
Your time starts now. Time is up. Now let's have the Team Purposeful in their cinematic Pass the Challenge video presentation.
paper challenge cinematic video presentation, we highlight the importance of decision making in our lives. It was some sort of a commitment to follow where our hearts and minds want us to be. And to emphasize our goal, we used the models could and should, ma'am.
Wow, cinematic video indeed. I appreciate the editing skills and of course the integration of the models in the video, and each member was able to present appropriate sentences. It is really right that you used the models could and should, right? Because you tried to imply obligation and possibility. A round of applause for Team Purposeful. This time, let's have the team Goal Driven.
Once there was a small mound of dirt. Then there came other huge mountains. They were big and boastful. The first one had oil in him. Rich, beautiful pools of oil hidden inside of him. The second one has gold in him. He is rich and kingly as can be. The third one has magma in him. Mighty hot magma. He could blow fire at your face and he could burn you. Now, the three huge mountains were curious about the little mound of dirt. But the little mound of dirt have nothing to show but a seed. Very insignificant when compared to the three humongous mountains before him, magnificent in their huge because they could. And the little one of the felt very, very sad. The little part of dirt could do nothing but sit, thinking to himself how useless would the three huge mountains planned amongst themselves a prank that they could pull on him. They pulled all the clouds that they could and made the biggest cloud of them all. Enough to make it rain from a little pile of dirt for a very long time. And so they grew sleepy, weary, and the night fell on them. The little pile of dirt could do nothing but sit. But of course he still has his imagination, thinking of what he shall do if he were to be bigger than all of them. Would pull all of the things precious inside of them and be as happy as he should be. And they would do nothing but sit with it. But then he knew that that wouldn't be him. Distracted, he picked up the seed that he had thrown earlier, looking at it, observing it, being... Oh, fuck. Thinking back of who he was, He put it back inside of him, planting it deep in his heart. And that plant would grow long, and he shall awaken to a new morning, a changed thing. He is sure he has changed, but he is not sure what kind of change has happened to him. And sure, he looked. All they could do was stare at him, for he had changed indeed. Now he is happy, loved by what he had grown inside of him. He is complete, happy he had chosen to be who he is.
In our digitized e-storyboard, we shared with you a story that is inspiring in such a way that it tells us to not worry if the path we are taking right now is not the same with what others are pursuing. Each of us has different pace, so it is just rightful that we don't take the same route. We have used the three modals, namely could, should, and shall, because these three in combination help us in clarifying what we intend to convey.
Wow, I can really say that there are a lot of technology savvy in here, hands down for an amazing editing skills. And more than this, I believe we all would agree that the digitized e-storyboard of Team Goal Driven is indeed inspiring. You know yourself better. You know which decision is better than you. And what is better than you might not be the same with others, and that is entirely okay. And of course, the models should, could, and shall was integrated appropriately. And great job, Team Goal Driven. For the last group, the Team Courageous, you may now have the floor.
Enjoy!
As you have heard, our song lyrics encourages us to be courageous in every decision we make. Some of the lines were models are where models are evident are if I could, then I would, and I should be the courageous person I want to be. Modal verbs are very evident in these lines.
Wow, for that, let us give Team Courageous a love clap. 1, 2, 3, go! 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Love! Yes, what a nice composition and rendition. And I agree that we can be successful because it is us who determine every step of our way. And models like, what then again? Shall, could, and should was used appropriately. Congratulations, everyone. And now for your scores. So here are your scores for Team Purposeful on your Pass the Challenge cinematic video presentation. You got 98. And for Team Goal Driven on your digitized e-storyboard, you got 97. And for Team Courageous, you also got, yes, 97. So, as you can see on your behavioral chart, the leading team is the team Goal Driven having 7 gems, followed by Team Courageous having 5 gems, and for Team Purposeful, 5 gems. So, but fret not, because we still have another activity. To examine further your understanding about our lesson, we will have this activity. So for now, look at your name tag. So at the upper left side, you can see a shape. So those who have heart shape on their name tag stays here. Those who have circle shape stays there. And for those who have diamond, stays here. So here are your tasks. Kindly pass it. Okay. For you to be guided with your presentation, everyone, kindly read our rubrics.
30 points. Presentation is creative, organized, and impressive, and free from errors. 25 points. Presentation is creative, organized, and impressive with less minimal errors. 20 points. Presentation is less creative and organized. Errors are observable. 15 points. Presentation and delivery need refinement.
Okay, your time starts now. Okay, class, your time is up. Present now your outputs. Wow, thank you for all your presentation. Everything was amazing and commendable. This time, let us have teacher Charlene.
Now, to generalize what we have discussed earlier, a modal verb is a type of verb that is used to indicate modality, that is, likelihood, ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, obligation, or advice. Modal verbs always accompany the base or infinitive form of another verb having semantic content. In English grammar, the modal verbs commonly used are can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, and must. The discussion we had today focused on the 3 modals, namely
Janessa, ma'am.
Yes, Janessa.
Could, shall, and should, ma'am.
That's right. When do we use modal could?
Princess, ma'am.
Yes, princess.
If you want to establish a sentence showing a possibility in the past, ma'am.
Okay, now anyone who can give me a sentence having the modal could?
Generous, ma'am.
Yes, generous.
I could have done better.
Yes. Now what about shall? When do we use it?
Jonaville, ma'am.
Yes, Jonaville.
We use this, ma'am, if we want to indicate a future action or promising voluntary actions, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now anyone who can give me a sentence having the modal shall?
Jaira, ma'am.
Yes, Jaira.
I shall go pack relief goods for the victims of the recent typhoon.
Okay, thank you, Jaira. Lastly, what about should?
Jennifer, ma'am.
Yes, Jennifer.
It is when we give advice or give logical conclusion that we use the modal should, ma'am.
That's right. Now, anyone who can give me a sentence having the modal should?
Faye, ma'am.
Yes, Faye?
We should not be afraid of standing for ourselves.
Thank you, Faye. That's great. From your answers, I can really say that you have learned a lot from today's discussion. Now, class, let us have teacher Shinda.
This time, class, to further assess your understanding about our lesson, you will answer the question written in this paper. What you are going to do is to give what is asked. Now, you shall manage to answer these questions within 10 minutes. Are my instructions clear, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So here is the question. So time starts now. Now, let's take a look to our behavioral chart and scoreboard. As you can see here, Team Goal Driven is the leading team. So today's discussion, the winning team is Team Goal Driven. And for that, let's give them a puppet clap. 1, 2, ready, go!
1, 2, 3, pak na pak. 1, 2, 3, bet na bet. 1, 2, 3, pak, bet.
For your assignment class, please research on other modals and write it on your notebook. Am I understood, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Once again, I am Teacher Shindal.
I am teacher Cheska.
I am teacher Charlene. And I am teacher Hannah.
Thank you and goodbye, class.